Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Kryptocraft with your host, Nighthawk. We are going to do some work on our bee workshop today, and largely because we have had a series of unfortunate events lately, we are going to move our genetic labs over into this little alcove here. And basically, I've had issues in the main lab area with creepers just showing up out of nowhere for no good reason whatsoever. So I am working on doing a little bit of rearranging here, getting things set up where I can access the kind of creating a service area here. Oh, never mind, that was the... this might not work as well as I'd hoped from a service access aspect, but it will work one way or another. Let's see. So basically we need the isolator, the sequencer, purifier, and the inoculator are the main machines that we need in here. And I'm thinking that for the time being I can leave the gene pool, which is the one that takes the melts the bees down into the liquid DNA and puts it in the tank. I think I can leave that out in the main workshop area for the time being. It will probably get integrated into the full processing area that we're going to build out here coming up pretty soon, because we're actually starting to get real production bees going here. So I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to have the purifier, or the inoculator, not the inoculator, sorry, the isolator. We're going to put the sequencer here, our purifier next, and that's what fills up the serum vials when we get those. And then from there it will go into the inoculator where we make the bees, and then we'll put the replicator, we'll put the replicator next to that. So I think this is going to do what we need. And I'm going to leave this open for the moment. In fact, I'm going to take one more block out there just so I can get over this if we need to for the moment. I might have to double check here, something here. I don't think... This doesn't... Yeah, the replicator doesn't take liquid DNA, so we can move him. And we won't need anything behind it, so that's good. I don't think we actually need this last spot. We should be able to just take this away. And let's fill in the last slot here. And we'll close up our access passageway here. And I think that's going to work. And what I'll probably end up doing is clearing out these blocks and put... use the space above here going all the way down the line for various chests for the various types of serum vials. So I think that's going to work. Now I kind of want to allow the liquid DNA in here to get drawn off and used up before I move the liquiducts. So that's why I haven't moved those yet. Let's go ahead and stick this refined serum vial in there and get this guy. Flip was kind enough to send over a refined species serum. He actually did that twice because the last time that I had a creeper blow up on me, and they just kind of, you know, I'll be working on one of the machines and then I'll hear the sizzle and a moment later, boom. So it's like they're not even giving this sizzle warning until they're already halfway through it, which is really annoying. It's cost me several diamonds rebuilding some of these machines. And yeah, that's why we're moving it into this little room. Now I've got I made some obsidian pressure plates and some iron doors so that no nasty little, none of the mean zombies can break down my doors, and you have to be a player to go through the obsidian pressure plates. So I think this will help to remove the problems I'm having with those creepers. Now what I might want to do here is change the path that the power is going over here. I know I'm going to want a different path for the liquid DNA. What is that? Yeah, that's what I thought. So I can't actually bring it over right there, but what I can do... Oops. Let's put this block back. I can... In fact, we'll put that back because we wouldn't want to make a weird jog. We can come up 2 blocks here and back, and we only need it for the first 3 machines, so we should be... That should be easy enough to set up where it looks decent from both sides. And once we have moved these machines, which we can go ahead and take the splicer out. We're not actually using the splicer at this time. That may change in the future, but the main thing that we're using is the advanced genetic machines with the species serums. Oh, Flip also got a hold of the Enders. Dang it! And that's why I'm moving all of these machines. Ah, I hate these stupid creepers. Because there's not enough warning. There's no way that you could have, with being stuck in a menu like that, there's no way that you could do anything. Oh, let's do that. Let's at least get all of the bees. And it's going to be a pain to resort all of this stuff. I mean, I'm moving it all anyway, but I still have to resort all of the things. And I think I lost... No, I lost the purifier yet again. And yes, I know I could turn on the no mob briefing, but that feels like cheating, and I just need to figure out why I mean, it's not even... It's dark, or it's light out. Where are these creepers coming from while it's daytime? That's just ridiculous. There's no reason that there should be creepers running around while it's day. It's not dark in here. It's very well lit. Or was until the creeper blew up the torches. Let's see. I think I just need to do this. And he blew up my isolator. Dang it. There is nowhere around here that they should be able to come from. And that other creeper blew up my apiarist chest that was on the wall right here that was feeding into the gene pool. Man. So, you can probably hear it a little bit on my voice. I am incredibly annoyed with these creepers. There's no reason that they should ever be blowing up that way. They certainly should not be blowing up with basically no warning. I mean, there wasn't even the sizzle before he blew up. It was, just barely sizzles, and all of a sudden, and if you're stuck on a menu, then there's nothing. We're going to redirect this. Let's try to get out on this side really quick and fill in this. So that we don't have anybody else trying to come and visit while we're working. So, yeah, and if you have an idea why these things are spawning where they are, because, I mean, you can see it's well lit. I don't know, maybe I need to just change everything to half slabs or something. Whoops, wrong button. We want to just click. Oh yeah, that's right, the isolator doesn't need it. It's really just the sequencer and... well, the splicer uses it too, but we're not really using the splicer, so we don't really need that. I mean, I've got... it's lit up as good as it can possibly be. At least where it, where things are actually happening. If we look at F3, block light is 11, I mean it's 10 right there where it even looked a little dark. It's not low enough for them to spawn anywhere in this, around here. And yes, the server is on hard, so the mob spawning is fairly aggressive, but this is getting a little ridiculous. Let's do that. We are going to move this lever to, oops, to the wall. That should, yep, that's working. And now we can put our cobblestone back. What we're going to do is we're just going to bring, actually we're going to bring power up right there. And we're just going to run it down the back here. There we go. I'll have to change how that access path works, but that's okay. Easy enough. Now we can put this like so. Could even just take it straight over like that. We'll open that up. And we're just going to go this way. There we go. So, now that we have done that, our machines are powered, we have our power pipes, or our power conduits reconnected. We're going to light that up. I'm going to leave this back area for the time being. I think what it will end up with is basically just being covered like so. And I'll need to move all of those chests over. I also need the liquiducts here and here connected. And now I need to make our, let's see, I've got the isolator. Oh, so it didn't blow up the isolator. I'd moved the isolator already. What it did blow up is the sequencer, which needs glowstone. That one's not too bad. That one only needs the regular genetic machine. And the purifier. And the purifier is the painful one because it needs gas tiers, which means I've got to go back to the nether and collect more gas tiers. Right, so I'm not going to punish everyone by making them watch me collect gas tiers, because it's a bit of a pain. Wait, I suppose it's possible they could be spawning somewhere up here and wandering their way down into the... What is the block light here? 8, 9... I think mobs need a block light of 6 to spawn. Yeah, there's some dark spots here. Let's put some more torches up here just to try and help matters out. And we are going to move into that secure room, so one way or another, that's going to resolve the main problem that we're having here. I still don't know how they are smart enough to get down there. But it is really, really annoying me. I'm hoping that I didn't lose any other important serums. But I do need to move all of the serums into this room, as well as... Now I also have to resort all of the bees that were there. Because there's a bunch of bees that were in one of those chests. And maybe we'll move all of the bee storage with all of our active bees and everything else into here as well. Not sure about that part yet. I do need to get a little bit better automation for some of these machines. Stuff like the purifier is, or the inoculators, you don't really, truly, completely automate it. Those all need to become refined. I think... Let's take a look at these particular bees. There's one attribute that I'm still wanting to get on all of them, which is Flyer. I have the serum for it. The drone has Flyer. Let's actually take all of these back out and go see if we can find our Flyer serum. Let's see, default territory, hopefully... Oh, there it is. Oh, wait. Synthesizer. Okay, so we only lost the purifier. Of course, we only lost the most expensive machine. Makes perfect sense. So we're going to get him plugged in. Let him charge up. I don't have anything... Well, I guess actually this does need to be recharged, but... We'll let the refined... We'll let this princess get turned into a refined really quick. Well, not so quick, but... regardless, the big thing is, thanks to FWIP, we do have refined drones now, or refined bees. I'm gonna let that go. Did run into a bit of a hitch with the with our steam power because the oily bees, they only produce a comb every 30 minutes. They were not producing enough oily combs to keep our power production system running. We also still need to make more steam engines. They are a little on the spendy side, so I haven't had the time to make them yet, but that will come up soon. But regardless, the 4 oily bees were not making enough oily combs to keep the boiler supplied with fuel. I actually had turned it off for a while and actually had gotten it back up to a little over a tank of fuel. And this lasted, it got up to about 490 degrees, and it's lasted about 45 minutes to an hour or so. So not too bad, but obviously not sustainable. But we'll get that fixed here. With the refined bees, they make an oily comb every 15 minutes on the normal productivity. So we should get a little bit more than that with it on fast, like we have them. And of course it is raining like mad. I'm going to wander around here while we're talking here, just to see if there's any particularly low spots. But, yeah, I don't see any. In any case, the refined bees produce combs more frequently, and they also produce petroleum combs, which will give us biofuel. And we can run the biofuel through some of the generators, and we can run it through combustion engines if we were to go that route. I'm a little hesitant to run combustion engines. Yeah, see, it's still light. Well, nope, there's a dark spot. Maybe they were coming from right in here somewhere. Because I guess it's kind of dark up here as well. I don't know. Regardless, those stupid creepers are really annoying. So yeah, anyway, I probably should just spend a bit of time and turn all of this into half slabs. Because then nothing could spawn in here. They'd have to come from outside. I guess what I will probably do half slabs for at least part of this room. Maybe the whole thing, but I don't know how that would look with the machines. Maybe half slab up? Go up half a level? That could work. I'll have to think about it a little bit. Regardless, we have another refined princess now. Let us put our rainfall serum in and make sure that our bees are able to work in the rain. I want to get at least a couple pairs going here. This first pair here is pretty close to ready to go already, so we'll get them running here in just a moment, I think. Hopefully it will only take one attempt to get this guy going. I will have to go get more gas tiers before we can do a whole lot more, just because we don't have a way of purifying... Whoops. We don't have a way to purify the serums right now, which is really quite important for what I'm using the serums for. I really hope that this little secure room will work better for my genetics. It's just too expensive to lose these genetic machines over and over again. And especially on the diamonds to make the purifier with the advanced machines. Those I don't have that many diamonds right now. I really need to get the turtles out going again, but as is everything, I don't have all of the processing facility working for the turtles. I suppose I can just run them anyway and just keep an eye on the factory and watch out for overflow. Don't really want to just have to watch it, though. Let's see, are you done? Almost. Almost done. Okay, I'm pretty sure you are already a flyer. Let's double check here. So you are now flyer on both, and you are flyer. Okay, so this bee will work day and night. It will work in the rain. So he will work constantly. Let's turn on the pulsar again. I had all the pulsars turned off so that I could work on trying to get the refined bread, but I was having issues getting them to actually stabilize as refined, or even I was even trying to get them to stabilize as distilled, which, similar to the refined, it also produces 3 combs, or produces a comb every 15 minutes. It just doesn't produce the petroleum combs. But yeah, I could not get it to stabilize making the refined bees. They just were being very stubborn. So anyway, oops. Our first refined bee is now in running. He is, well, she is set up with our nice little system here. She wants flowers. I'm kind of hoping that... Ooh, what is this? A petroleum comb? I think that's a petroleum comb already. It is. It is a petroleum comb. So if we look at the uses for this, we can see a petroleum comb produces the petroleum propolis. And the petroleum propolis in a squeezer produces propolis and biofuel, which we can run in a combustion engine, or we can run it in a couple of the different generators. The biogenerator actually looks like... let's see. Biodiesel cell. See, the void capsules take a bit more... They hold more fuel. But this guy, it produces 16 EU per tick in the biogenerator. We may have to see about getting some of those up and running for the industrial craft power. We do need to supply more power to the matter fabricator. Right now it's pretty much sitting idle because I haven't made more thorium cells to power it. So yeah, that's also on the to-do list. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and seeing me get blown up. I hate losing the purifier. That was kind of the biggest thing, biggest motivation for moving into another room. I also lost the inoculator and the replicator I just had to rebuild. The gene pool luckily survived the last blast, but I didn't even notice that the apiary's chest above had gotten blown up. We will start to build, to clear out some room in here and start to build a processing center. Probably going to have some... Well, so I guess here's the question, and maybe you guys can let me know what you guys think here. So we got some choices here. We can do... this is kind of... I'd intended this as a bee lab, more workshop for breeding the bees and getting different bees ready to produce items. And I'd still kind of planned on using the Kryptocraft Power and Light, which is... it's more intended as a generator than factory, I suppose, but... It's been nicknamed the Factory, so I think we'll probably use it as such. So we could set up all of the processing for our bee items over at the factory, and basically just use an item tesseract. We've already got one set up here. We may, if we do process everything over at the factory, then we would change this tesseract to only point to the main processing, and we just dump all of the honeycombs into it. So we could go that route. The drawback to that is we need a way of bringing some things back over here. So in order to continue the genetic side of things, we need to have the honey for the analyzer, whether we use the automatic analyzer or if we use the Beelyzer handheld device, we still need to have honey for it. So we would need to get the honey back over here. And a lot of the other stuff uses the bee materials over here, so we would have to be sending things back and forth, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think we can even do that with a single tesseract. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but Yeah, so let me know what you think. Do we set up a processing area in the factory over yonder? It's that direction a little ways. Or do we set up the honeycomb processing in the bee workshop, which also makes sense. It really makes sense both ways. The only real drawback to processing in the bee workshop is power. So if we process here, we definitely need to have more power. Right now, I'm going to put a torch there just because, another torch there. Try to reduce the problems I'm having. So right now we have one little magma two blue electric engines here that are feeding off the bluetricity. And we have the energy cell that's pulling energy from the engines and our public power. That is outputting. The output on the bottom here goes over to the auto tree farm. That's the only thing it's actually powering. So that might change. And I may need to actually pull this power area down another level. Although I can go down 2 more layers before I start encroaching on the tunnel. So if we were to use process over in the lab, we would need to clear out a pretty large area underneath the workshop to produce power. We're going to need to do that to some extent regardless, just because the power required to run all of the various bee machines is pretty significant. And I don't think even just in the energy tesseract, I don't think can even transmit enough power. Plus it also has a penalty. It costs 25% of the Buildcraft power sent through it as the cost of transmission, where the item tesseracts, they don't have that particular penalty, so we don't have to worry about that. But we will need to actually produce power over in this area. Now, one of the ways I'd planned on doing that was via steam, and we could use a liquid tesseract to send the steam over here to pump into a line of steam engines. So that's probably going to be one of the power sources that we use once we start making some steam engines to get that set up. Another thing that we can use is we can pick up a couple of magma engines and use the public lava supply that comes off the lava tanks and use those over here. Really, I suppose before we do any of those, we need to actually rearrange how all of this is set up. So I think what we will do is we'll call it for this episode. Let me know what you think for the power or for the processing. And next episode, we will probably start the process of rearranging all of the power environment here to start producing power in this area. And I'll probably set up the turtle to cut out this chunk of area underneath the workshop so that we have room to work. In fact, I'll start doing that right now. And then we will... I'm just using the same program, and I just got to keep an eye on it, on the turtle. Let's see, how big is this? We are at 270... So let's go 270, 257, that's 13 by 13, we'll do 13 by 10? No. Yeah, 13 by 10 should be okay. We'll start with that. Actually, it's going to be 10 by 14, because I think 10 is that way. So anyway, he's going to start working, and clear out some area under here to start working on the power. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and some of the thoughts on what we're going to be doing in the future. And with that, I will see you guys next time, and have a great evening. Bye.